Welcome back to K-Astrology, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin, and today I'm going to be doing your February 2021 horoscope. I also do monthly tarot predictions for all 12 zodiac signs, along with pick a card readings. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe to K-Astrology. Now, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description box below, so please feel free to jump straight to your sign. For those of you who are sticking around, I'm going to quickly run through your sun, moon, and rising sign horoscopes and how they differ, okay? Your rising sign, otherwise known as your ascendant sign, will always be the most overall accurate horoscope for you. It does not matter how much you identify with that rising sign, okay? You could be an Aries rising, but you're a Cancer sun and you feel more like a Cancer. That's fine. The Aries rising horoscope will be the most accurate for you. Now, with your sun horoscope, this will pertain to your conscious will and your career and any goals and ambitions that you have. Your moon sign will be in relation to, your moon sign horoscope will be in relation to all relationships in your life, your emotional state, and your living circumstances. As I said, the rising sign will be the most accurate and will encompass all of those aforementioned things. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around for this intro. You can now head to your timestamp in the description box below. Hi Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Welcome to your February 2021 horoscope. The month starts off with Mercury being retrograde in your second house. Mercury stationed retrograde on the 31st of January and won't be direct until the 21st of February. So with this 3-week stint in your second house, you'll be reevaluating your financial income, how you make money, how you want to make money. Any budgets that you have can be subject to reviews and tweaking in some way, shape, or form. You may experience a delay in receiving your pay from your employer. So if you receive that on a specific date every month, just be mindful that it might be a little bit late this time. And some of you on a different level might be changing banks, changing financiers, and some of you can actually have a breakthrough when it comes to any issues that you have with money. With Mercury representing your mentality and how you think about things, you're essentially thinking about money in a whole different light. So if some of you Capricorns have been overly focused on the material things in life, how much you're earning, what your earning capabilities are, and letting this hold you back from doing other things, you can have a breakthrough and you'll be shifted from a lack mindset when it comes to money and abundance to one of prosperity and being able to receive abundance. So having Mercury retrograde here, although it can, muck around your finances in a way, this is actually really beneficial for you because you're going to start having illuminating thoughts and ideas about how to increase your abundance and how to increase your financial income. Now, something to be aware of is that there may be changes to your income, okay? This can fluctuate in terms of there being an increase or a decrease. Mercury retrograde can destabilize things or shake things up in that way. On a completely different level, some of you Capricorns who have been financially dependent on someone can finally shift into a state of total financial independence. On another level, Mercury being retrograde in your second house can affect your possessions and your valuables. Some of you may be wanting to sell your valuables, sell clothes that you have, or even trade these with another person. Some of you Capricorns may rediscover an important valuable or possession that you thought that you'd lost for months or even years. And if you lend something to a friend or a family member and you've completely forgotten about it, or you thought that this item was lost, you may be getting a call out of the blue saying, hey, remember that thing I borrowed from you 5 years ago? Yeah, I found it and I have it. I'm going to return it to you. Now, another way that Mercury retrograde in your second house can affect you Capricorns is that you start valuing yourself and analyzing the way that you've been undervalued by others in a different light, okay? If you previously had low self-esteem, or you cared a lot about what other people thought of you, or your sense of value came through material items and how much you earned, these things can start shifting. And I am going to come back to this point later in the video because it will impact some of you Capricorns in a really big way. Now, on a superficial level, some of you may be thinking about doing your hair differently and doing your makeup differently. And with the second house being activated, with Venus entering Aquarius on the 2nd of February, we can see this basically being bolstered, okay? Venus wants to beautify any area that it's in and make it more harmonious and luxurious. Venus in Aquarius in your second house is really happy here. Venus will encourage you to do the things that make you feel more attractive, dress more beautifully, dress more luxuriously or attractively. You can actually receive an increase in your income or be gifted a valuable possession. Now, on the 12th of February, there will be a new moon in Aquarius at 23 degrees in your second house. New moons indicate new beginnings or the start of a new chapter, and with this new beginning in the second house, you'll be planting the seeds for earning a new stream of income, okay, new financial stream of income, I should say, and you might actually see the results of this in 6 months' time at the full moon in Aquarius, or even the full moon in Aquarius in 18 months' time. This new moon can also see you changing the way that you dress completely. All right, this can be a change in appearance. This can even be you wanting to, get braces or Invisalign, fixing your teeth or whitening your teeth, because the second house also rules teeth and the lower part of your face. So you could be enhancing this area in some way, shape, or form. And your taste could even change, okay? Your style, your aesthetic that you're into, the kinds of food that you like, the kinds of wine or alcohol or drinks in general that you like to drink, and even, your taste in luxury items or your valuables or your possessions. We can see almost like a reprogramming in this area, and a lot of Capricorns in 6 months or 18 months time will have a totally new look, okay? And of course, this will be some kind of improvement in your own eyes. Even if other people don't like it, this is going to be linked with your self-esteem, because a lot of you Capricorns will have a newfound self-esteem with this new moon in the second house, okay? So we can see you starting to basically indulge in self-care and the things that do make you feel more beautiful and more attractive and more harmonious. And what's going on the inside will start manifesting externally on the outside. On a superficial level, some of you may start a new collection, because the second house rules anything that we keep, anything that we collect. So you might start a new stamp collection, a coin collection. You might collect teacups or spoons or postcards, or even family history. That's another thing which is represented by the second house. Some of you may go down a very, very long and interesting rabbit hole when it comes to your family history. And there can certainly be some new discoveries here with the new moon in Aquarius. And I should have mentioned with Mercury being retrograde in your second house, family members, long lost relatives, or information regarding your relatives can start coming into your conscious awareness and coming out of the woodwork. Now, on the 18th of February, we will see the biggest astrological transit for the whole of 2021 taking place, and that is Saturn in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus at 7 degrees. Now, this transit will actually take place 3 times in 2021. The first, of course, being on the 18th of February. The second time this transit will take place is on June the 15th. And the third time will be on Christmas Eve on the 24th of December. Now, Capricorn, given that Saturn is your ruling planet, this will impact you in such a huge way. Saturn as a planet is concerned with solid foundations and structure, and Uranus is a planet which represents innovation, new beginnings, and swift change and sudden upheavals. And of course, anything which is shocking in nature. So the clash between these two planets can see a real battle between your second house, where Saturn is, and your fifth house, where Uranus is. I'm going to outline the 5 different ways that this can impact you Capricorns before I delve into each way a little bit deeper. Just remember that this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Some of this will play out and manifest for you in some ways, and for other ways, it won't apply. So just bear that in mind when you're listening to this reading. On one level, this will impact your income versus your creative passions and hobbies. Another way that this can manifest is your self-esteem versus self-confidence, your values and financial independence versus your own creative pursuits and perhaps starting your own business. And then we have your traditions versus what you enjoy and your love life, and also your traditions and your children if you have any. So let's start with your income versus your creative passions and hobbies. Some of you Capricorns will find that you've been working so hard to support your financial income and your earning capabilities that there's simply no time to explore your hobbies and passions, and something basically clicks into place where you realize that something's got to give, and I just can't be, pursuing increasing my bank account at the expense of not having time for fun. Some of you may actually have a huge breakthrough in your own business or side hustle, as we call it, which leads you to taking a huge risk, okay, and investing a lot of money into these pursuits. Now, the shocking part of this is that, these ideas or these desires to either, do away with certain obligations to try and fatten up that bank account, or having to invest a whole lot of money to get something off the ground, can come about really suddenly. And, these notions can shock you or make you, quite unsettled, because really, Capricorns are so concerned with their financial income and financial security as a whole. Now, some of you Capricorns may find that your pay has to take a slash. Now, initially, you may be devastated by this, whether this is something that you consciously were in control of, or maybe it's come out of the blue. Of course, at the beginning, you're crushed by this, but then this actually unlocks a part of you which is very creative, and you're able to spend all of this time pursuing these creative projects or these artistic projects which you never explored or you never really dedicated the time to do. And a lot of you may find that you are thinking outside the box, or you decide to pursue one of these creative and innovative new ideas. Now, on a different level, this Saturn square Uranus transit can impact your self-esteem and your self-confidence in a huge way. And this can come about with the shocking realization that your self-esteem for the longest time has been connected to how much you earn. And this has negatively impacted your level of confidence, and it's even drained the spark out of your lust for life. And that's not to say that this transit is going to have a negative impact on you, Capricorn. Of course, realizing how much your self-worth is tied up in your status in life and your earning capacity and capabilities, this is only going to lead you to a path of self-discovery and finding out what makes you tick and where you should be investing in yourself more, and not just looking at what you're earning and thinking that this is all you're worth in this life. Now, on a different level, Capricorn, some of you may find that your values and your financial independence has taken preference over starting your own business, okay? So maybe you were raised to believe that you had to work a 9-to-5 corporate job to earn a decent living in life. Or perhaps you were taught that money and status mean everything and that you should try and attain this at all costs. Maybe you were not encouraged to pursue your dream of being a sports athlete, an actor or an actress, starting your own business, being an artist, being a writer, being a singer or a performer or an entertainer. You know, this Saturn square Uranus transit is going to unlock so much creative potential for so many Capricorn sun, moon, and risings. I'm really quite excited to see all the breakthroughs that these Capricorns in my life make. Now, some of you may have a breakthrough in your values where you tear down these self-limiting beliefs. Actually, they're not self-limiting. They've been ingrained into you by your family, by family traditions. You know, maybe all of your family were doctors or lawyers and you were told that you have to pursue this career, and now you're like, hey, I'm gonna start my own business, I'm gonna do my own thing. And it doesn't have to be starting your own business. It can just be, you know, a discovery of self-growth and passion and joy, okay? Think, eat, pray, love, right? Now, with this transit, we can see family traditions versus who you love, okay? Maybe your family or your culture that you've been raised with frowns down upon interracial relationships, or maybe, you know, you come from an aristocratic family and now, you know, you've fallen in love with someone who was raised in a totally different family with different values to you. And it can work the reverse way as well, okay? We're really seeing a battle between how you were raised and what your cultural norms are versus who you love and who you want to be with. Lastly, with this transit, you can find that how you want to raise your children is now starting to take on a different path to what your family would have wanted. And that can be, you know, coming from a religious family, but you don't want to baptize your child, or you have a more spiritual mindset for how you want to raise them. Lastly, with this transit, your child, represented by the 5th house, can be challenging you by doing something which is completely shocking and completely different. And, you know, the 2nd house represents you and what your values are and what your traditions are. Maybe they are going on a journey in life or taking a course in life which is so completely far from how you raised them, and it's completely shocking to you, okay? But you're having to find a way to accept your child and love them unconditionally and realize that it's their life. If they are an adult, if they're of legal age, they can do whatever they want. And of course, that's going to be a big challenge for a lot of Capricorn sun, moon, and risings. Now, also on the 18th of February, Pisces season will commence, and with the sun in your 3rd house, you'll be very focused on work, your daily plans and schedule. There may even be a lot of short distance travel during this period of 4 weeks, or perhaps your sibling is in the spotlight for something, or maybe they have something important to celebrate. As I mentioned, on the 21st of February, Mercury will finally be direct. So after this period, or even 2 weeks later with the post-shadow period, you can receive your pay, and you can certainly come out the other side with a lot more self-confidence and standing your ground with your values. With Venus entering Pisces on the 26th of February in your 3rd house, you can enjoy time with your friends, your colleagues, and your siblings, and maybe even receive help from them in some area of your life. Or you could just be enjoying work and seeing an increase in sales in your business. Lastly, Capricorns, on the 27th of February, there will be a full moon in Virgo in your 9th house, and this is at 8 degrees. This is trining your ascendant, so this is quite a positive full moon, and full moons always indicate the ending of a chapter or a cycle. Some of you may be saying goodbye to a philosophical, religious, or spiritual belief that you've been subscribed to on a different level. You could just have a complete change in your worldview. Some of you who are living abroad may find that your time abroad may be coming to a close, especially if this move took place 6 months ago or 18 months ago. And some of you might be completing a course in higher education, whether that's a master's program, an honors program, a diploma, or a thesis, or of course a study program abroad may be coming to an end at this time. Lastly, Capricorn, some of you are seeing the world through a completely different lens, and you're saying goodbye to how you envisioned a certain part of your future, okay? A big vision or dream that you had may have shifted at this time for the better, and we're going to see a whole lot of new beginnings, especially later in the year for you Capricorn Sun, Moon and Risings. Well, Capricorn, that's all I have for you for the month of February. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe to UK Astrology. Enjoy your February 2021, and I'll see you guys next month.